Hello, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John, coming to you today with just a few tidbits to talk about over the weekend. As you all know, Oscars took place on Sunday, yesterday, and as predicted, the Oppenheimer took most of the awards, and there was probably a little bit of politicizing there, but not as much as I expected to hear. With that, Joe Biden has been on the road since the State of Confusion address that he brought out last week, and kind of muddled through and touched on some really tender subjects, especially when it came to the Laken Riley incident, where he mispronounced her name. That was just unforgivable. The fact that he thinks that he has turned the entire country around and then to come back and walk back the illegal comment. He was an illegal, not an immigrant, refugee that has been sent to this country with a troubled past and continues to foster that ability to beat a woman to death. And Joe doesn't want to insult him by calling him an illegal, because the left got on him for saying that. And then he turns around this weekend and decides to tell us that these illegals built America. Well, they weren't here to build America until he let them in. And the amount of people that came through under his watch is absolutely, in my estimation, frightening. And if you're not frightened over this, you probably are listening to the wrong people or not watching the correct programming. Because if you're into mainstream media, as most are, you'll find out quickly that they're not telling you anything that isn't scripted and told to them that they're allowed to say. That's unfortunate. So, do we have a state-run media now? Boy, it begins to look like it. If you turn on to MSNBC and listen for 5 minutes to Rachel Maddow, you'll understand quickly that it's not a good situation, the way the news media is not reporting to you what is truth and what should be consequences. We're getting opinions, not news, which is a large problem. So we have platforms such as YouTube here, Rumble, Truth, and several other platforms that you can go listen to differing opinions. And I urge you to listen to both sides, because it's an outstanding difference in what you're going to get between the truth and what is scripted for all the legacy media to deliver to you. So anyway, we had a wonderful weekend here, both weather-wise and the sun was shining. It's very early for trees to be blooming, but you'll see in my Sunday report when Kaiser was out for his runs yesterday, and he showed off his fastness for sure. And I hope you all watch that and send me comments, and we'll talk to you more and more, and you'll get to see more and more of Kaiser as this channel grows. And we thank you all for subscribing to this channel. The Kaiser Report brings you what we can filter through as truth and with integrity, and as the sign says. But we rely on your thoughts too. So we have comment columns underneath these videos, and please make some comments and tell me what you're thinking. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Because everyone has opinions and insights that we may miss, and you may be able to help us in the comment section and telling us your views on things. And we'll actually put them out there. Also, we have a small announcement coming up in the next few days. We're getting an inventory of the Kaiser Report ball caps. They're going to sell for $22.50, and we'll have those available to ship probably by the end of this month. We'll be up and running on that. So if you want to email us and tell us what you want and what you like, you can do that at our email address that we will post for you. Anyway, not a whole lot other than the Oscars being talked about on mainstream media this morning. Fox did a lot of coverage on it, and also some of the walkbacks that Biden has made since the State of Confusion address, where he showed us that he can still get angry and whisper to us. Well, most of the facts that he brought out were skewed, not true in some cases, and people in the legacy media are even picking that apart, and some of his own Democrat associates there are picking it apart as well. So we'll see where that goes. Donald Trump has met with and talked to Laken Riley's family, I'm told, and that's interesting that Laken's mother decided that the fact that he couldn't even get her name right means to her that he really doesn't care. And I'm going to go along with that thought because I don't think he cares either. So we're getting ready to do more and more interviews here and walking tours of some small Appalachian towns that are around this area, the tri-state area. And when I talk about the tri-state area, that's North Carolina, Southwest Virginia, East Tennessee, and parts of Kentucky. So there's a lot to be seen in this area. There's a lot to be enjoyed in this area in a simple walk through the woods. So we are privileged to have some woods here to walk through. I think you saw some of that yesterday on the Sunday Report. And spring is upon us. Things are blooming. We're getting ready to get the big garden in this year. We need to get some vegetables in there for canning. And I urge you, if you're not canning vegetables or growing your own, you should be, because the genetically modified foodstuffs that are on the shelves out there now and the processed foods that are being forced upon us are causing most of the problems that we're seeing health-wise with people, from diabetes on to a myriad of other things that are affecting the population, and it's directly related to foodstuffs in some cases. Allergies, things of that nature that never plagued you before may be doing that now because of your diet. So talk to your healthcare professional about what is and is not good for you, for your particular physique and your particular ailments that you may or may not have, or a possibility of getting because of certain stuffs that you should not be ingesting. Fast food has, in my estimation, I've been around a long time. And I grew up in the 1950s, and I watched the progress of obesity in this country with the advent of the fast food restaurant chains that opened up in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. These things are not good for you. eating 2 to 3 meals a day at a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Kentucky Fried Chicken is detrimental to your health. You need good food, fruits and vegetables that will keep you healthy. Drink lots of water. I never thought I'd see the day. I mean, when I was growing up, we drank water from a garden hose if we were out playing. Today, you have to buy, $1.50 bottle of bottled water that you don't know where it came from or how it was processed or what's being put into purified water. Natural spring water is one thing, but when they talk about purified water, I'm going to tell you a little story. I was on an airplane going to the West Coast from New York, from Atlanta, and sitting next to me was a high executive from the Coca-Cola Company. I asked for a bottle of water, and they brought, I'm not going to mention brands here, but they brought me a bottle of water. He looked over at me and said, "Don't drink that." And I looked at him and I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I work for the company that produced that. And do you know that that's the purified wastewater that we use to clean the bottles and everything else in the canning facilities?" And they purified it and added back what they feel is, what you need in mineral. So that said, I'm sure that all the purified waters that are out there that come from Coca-Cola and PepsiCo and whoever is producing it, if it says purified water, rest assured it's not pure spring water. And I don't know if there's really a Poland Springs or not, but I'm told that there is. And Fuji water and these, what I call designer waters, are very expensive and not in most people's budgets today because people are watching the dollars they spend because food stuff has gone up 25% since the Biden administration. He wants to tell you in the State of Confusion address and out on the campaign trail what a wonderful job he's done at bringing this country back on its feet. I don't know where this fantasy comes from, but we were in pretty darn good shape when we had his predecessor in charge of things. That said, I'm not promoting any individual in this future election, but I have to say, I don't want a liar, and I don't want somebody that takes credit for things that other people did, telling me or running my country or deciding what to do with my tax dollars. Which brings me up to my pet peeve of sending more and more money to that little thief in the Ukraine with no accountability. And now we're talking about another $61 billion going to this asinine conflict that can be solved through diplomacy, but for some reason this administration doesn't want that to happen. So you have to ask yourself why, number one, where is the money going? What is it going for? And what is the solution in the end result? What's your exit plan? Is it going to be another Afghanistan? They don't have an exit plan because this is a war that cannot be won by the Ukraine. The Ukraine people know it. We know it. We, the people in the United States, can see. We have eyes. We have ears. We listen. We see what's really going on. And then we have the talking heads come up and tell us what we saw and what we heard didn't really happen. This happened in place of that. Well, that's wrong, and we need to get over that, and we need to get politicians that actually give a damn, and we need term limits on our Congress and our Senate, and then maybe we have a chance at bringing back the shining city on the hill that we used to be. And I know that I have to rant on some of these things because it doesn't seem, although I do have a lot of faith and hope. I've been talking to some Gen Z people recently, and their opinions matter. And I think that this is going to be the generation that is going to take and turn this ship into the wind so we can take off again. These are sharp, young people that have awoken to the fact that they have been lied to. They would like to see things differently. And I think we're going to start interviewing more and more Gen Zers and get their ideas and what they would like to see. Because this is the future of this country. Our youth is the future. And God forbid that we have to go into another conflict and lose more lives of these young people is ridiculous. We need peace in this world. We need not division, we need togetherness. And we need to understand. We need to understand what love really is. And when you give out a smile, and when you give out love, and when you give out help to someone, not only does it make you feel good, but it shows the next person that people do care. People are inherently good. What we're seeing with the immigration problems that came up with Lake and Riley and several other people that have been attacked and harmed or killed or raped by these people that are crashing the border, we have to remember that the people that are being sent to the southern border have been emptied out of not only insane asylums, but the jails in some of these countries. They got rid of them. They said the border is open up there, go. And they provided the ways and means for them to get here. So we do have some bad apples that have shown up, and I'm not discounting the fact that we have a whole bunch of Chinese nationals of military age that are in here now, and we don't know what they're up to. We have a whole bunch of Middle Easterners that may very well be connected to Hamas or Al-Qaeda or ISIS. I mean, you just don't know. Does that mean that every person that crosses the border that is of Middle Eastern descent is bad? Absolutely not. There are a lot of good people in this world. It's proven. And there's also a lot of people that will do harm for whatever reasons, and then added drugs to that problem makes them even worse or less likely to think correctly to do the right thing. So this means we have to stay aware of our surroundings at all times and who is entering what room and when and how. So be ever vigilant when you're out shopping, when you're in parking lots. If you're a young lady that's going to your car at a mall parking lot, be aware that you need to get into that car and lock the doors. Do not get out if you find a fake $100 bill under your windshield wiper to grab it, because that's what they're counting on. And you need to be aware of all of the fraud that is taking place today, not only in carjackings and murders and things of that nature. You don't want to become a victim. So be vigilant. And that's my talk for today as far as that goes. And I wish you all a very happy Monday. The sun is shining here. We'll probably try to get a couple of shorts out this week, and we'll be here every morning for you. And please don't forget to hit the like button and share with your friends about the Kaiser Report and our YouTube channel. The more subscriptions that we get, the more content we can bring to you. And don't forget, we're coming out with some hats that we'll sell to you directly. And our we'll post a thing on YouTube and on Rumble with the email address that you can write to get a Kaiser Report ball cap. And pricing will be there. So that said, we're going to probably start to walk on out of here before too long. So anyway, there's the music, which means John is out of here. So have a great day. We love you here at the Kaiser Report. Bye-bye now.